Well, hello, folks. Top Gun here with you, and I got a good one for you tonight. So, I was busy at work all day getting this beautiful sun and building these muscles, and earning the pay so I can take advantage of the bottom coming. Um, yeah, I got a good one for you tonight, folks, because yeah, I've been out there enjoying life, and I missed what Jerome Powell said today. But I already knew what he was going to say because he's not brain dead and he doesn't seem clinically insane. I've never seen him dressing like my hero Richard Hart. I've never seen him wearing a tinfoil hat. I've never caught him drooling, although it has looked like he's asleep at some meetings. Generally, if you're able to do some sense of math and have some sense of the horrendous storm on the horizon, there's no chance you're going to take it easy. So at this point, might still just mess around with 75 basis points. I don't know what he said, but it was definitely hawkish. Oh, I know, because Apple did exactly what I said it was going to. I'm not Nostradamus here, folks. I just do a bit of TA, look at some market facts, and do some math. That's all. And the tea leaves tell me things. I make a joke of it, I make entertainment, but I could be wrong at certain points because market mania can always overpower logic. We've seen that with Bed Bath & Beyond and other meme stocks. There is an absolute mania and bubble out there, and it is starting to pop. So let's have a look at what I'm talking about, shall we, today? We'll cut straight to it. All right, not the ICOs, so let's get straight to Apple. All right, so if you want to look at my videos, this yellow line is where I called out my hypothetical short at 172.26. And I said it could pop high as 180, which it didn't get to. I thought, yeah, there's even a chance it could double top up here. But she popped up and she came down, and then I did another video to tell you she was going to come down here and bounce off of it and then come back down. And how we reacted to this line would depend on how quickly we did that. And look, we came down, bounced off my line of firm resistance, and then plummeted through it. Now, do you see any other lines of firm resistance? No. So now mania could scoop this back up, but that's not even on the established bear trend, or bull trend, which is not firm resistance. So this is paused over the weekend. And it will come back on Monday. So we'll even come back to it and talk about it some more. For now, we're going to skip down the bloodbath all the way down. Wheat's still in high demand. And we're going to look. Oh, the last bull trend I had here just got shattered. All right, so Bitcoin has now fallen out of that bull trend, and some might argue, oh, but man, look, it just barely touches these points. Oh, we're still on track. Oh, that is the weakest bear trend or bull trend I've ever seen. So weak, not entertaining it. Goodbye. You lose. We have finally crashed back to the 20K. Now, what's more likely? We're going to find some firmness suddenly while Apple is screaming murder in the streets and mania back up to reclaim 22.5 and then come up to test the bear market? Or do you think it's more likely that over the weekend we'll try and hold this as support, maybe fight up a little, and then on Monday, depending on what happens, maybe fall through? Now, basically, we are passing the time horizon where our first line of huge resistance here even matters. Because I don't think it's going to come straight down to touch this. And this line of resistance does not matter past the end of August. So that line also gets cleaned up off my chart. What matters now is this. And it's not a green line, it's a yellow. My interim resistance, which has now become support. So you understand it's going to use these horizontal lines as steps where decides to hold resistance or bounce from. And really, it pays a lot of attention to the trend lines. They really drag this around. And fundamentally, the market is in a bubble that needs to come down. That's why housing prices are collapsing and why the mania is dipping. And that's not just a correction in Apple. All right. So looking at Ethereum because of the merger and all that jazz. There, let's just delete that entirely. That was a mini looking at this mania coming up for the merge as trading's halting, and oh look, it really doesn't matter. It didn't really have a whole lot to do with the merge. The merge made it trade differently than Bitcoin. It lost its correlation as they rose. They started to move a little freely because Ethereum was seeing different volume transactions based on the merge. But as everyone panics, it's just sell out and then hold your breath. So Ethereum has had a much better ROI than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is literally pretty much potted out to the average resistance that it fought around just previously. Ethereum is quite a notch higher. It's still going to come back down to this, but the ROI was much better because of the merger. They had an actual real bull run. And Hex was able to turn around and enjoy some of this stamina. Like, it trades on its own, it's gaining adoption. I love what it's doing. I think it might hold out surprisingly well. But this bull run, this little mini one, dead. Now, this is where I should make this a yellow line. I really should, because that is an immediate current trend. I should have different colors, but Hex is my special baby. So these bright yellow lines are my real lines of concern. This is basically the top side of the wedge. If we continue to trade up, we're going to trade between these yellow lines. Right now, we're riding this one for support, and I think we're going to catch this green one right now or this blue one as some support. The very worst, we'll bounce off this yellow again. But I have a funny hunch as we're getting so close to breaking the final resistance line to get into freedom territory, to be setting new trend lines. We're getting really near the end of our bear market, guys. Like, the world economy is in some really rough shape, so I'm not aping in. Obviously, I have no cash. I'm always talking about how I can only afford $50 a month, which barely even covers the gas fees. So I have to be careful. I can't day trade around in crypto. And I didn't get to open that Apple short because I didn't even have the money to open a put. And I have no assets to leverage that I thought would stay safe while Apple was crashing. Like, even taking 1% collateral and 99% over collateralized with my leverage, I don't think is safe enough in this market. There's some things are going to see some nasty stuff, and I don't have those other assets. I'm in crypto. That's what I do. I have more faith in it. Less middlemen. That's just the way I like it. So I do like Hex, and I am a little bit optimistic that we have potential to trade up. That bottom may have been the real bottom, but we'll see. So far, we're trading sideways, as predicted, and will this yellow trend start taking us off and into the future, up and to the right? How much support do we need to really convince people that the pain is done and the opportunity is back? At what point will we go up in this yellow trend? I can't wait to see. I do not know. Magic 8 Ball says maybe. Not even Outlook or anything, just the maybe, the really simple one. Maybe. Like, we don't know. We don't know. It may have to come back down to touch 2.9 cents. We might need a double bottom for that definitive, strong confidence. But as the markets start crashing, it's been funny how Hex used to trade inverse of a lot of market crashing, and a lot of wealthy people rode that, and we had our bear market first. Could that same momentum continue into Hex? May I have even heard some news on Twitter Spaces, which actually made me more bullish on Hex. News that isn't even public information. Now, the people doing the space recorded the space, which technically makes it public, even though no one's publicly talked about it. So if you want to go hunting through the Twitterverse in my Twitter account, it's Top Gun Hexadian at Twitter. Hit the like and subscribe. And by the way, follow and, hey, tag me. Make fun of me. Go for it. Say hello. Tell me that I need to stop wearing aviators. Whatever you feel like. Interact. I love the engagement. So, yeah, come find me on Twitter. You can find what spaces I was in and what tweets I mentioned about that and dig around for the information. But as the people in the space said, they haven't publicly released the information. I respect that. I can say I heard something that makes me feel bullish, but I'm not willing to say what it is, because there's other parties that will make it public when it's time to make it public. With that said, yeah, Hex is it's looking more shapely, but every time I finally get a bit of optimism about Hex, I get a pie in the face. So I refuse to say I'm optimistic and it's going up. I'm just optimistic that maybe it's not going to crash so bad. Smite me now. No, please don't smite me. So, yeah, I am getting a little more optimistic. Now, Hedron, look at this piece. This is another reason, is Hedron and Icosa are now, as well as Maxi, complementary products. Maxi allows you to basically trade one giant bond where the asset is now backed by Hex. Yeah, the Maxi token isn't just worth Maxi or future speculation, it's worth the Hex it's printed on. Whoa, really? Yeah. And then we've got Icosa. Now, Icosa, I'm not even going to try to explain it. Basically, I look at it as a balancing lever to help incentivize the trading and trading of HSI stakes and auctioning of them to get that system of Hedron pumping a little better. And with that, we have seen some action in Hedron. And Hedron, an HSI stake, what is that if you haven't heard? Well, I've said on this channel more than once that NFTs are crap unless they have utility, because they have utility. You can use them as copyrights. You can use them as bonds. What do you mean as bonds? How can it be a financial instrument? Hell, Hex, you can stake that, and it pays you yield of inflation. Now, when you stake it, you can't trade it. It's yours, but it's you destroyed all the coins, and you have an IOU claiming however many days that you put in 5. So you go back to claim that, and then your Hex reappears. Well, new Hex is minted to honor that IOU, but you can't trade that IOU. Wouldn't it be nice if you could? Well, what if you could stake your Hex as an NFT using the HSI contract in Hedron? Yeah. And so that allows you to now buy and sell your stakes before their yield point, so people can speculate on their future value like bonds. Wow, that's some utility. And I love that utility, but I just didn't see Hedron doing well because it's mints so much. There's such a high threshold that any Hex stake holder can mint some. Now, those numbers are decreasing. They are deflationary, and as T-share prices go up, theoretically it should get harder to mint Hedron. So the supply will diminish long term. It won't inflate so much. It's a long man's game. But to speed that up, to prove some of the element, Icosa. Icosa now allows another tradable element to allow you to trade your Hedron, your Hex, your HSI stakes, and your Icosa. I got to do some looking into that. In the meantime, I'll give another shout out to Crypto GRFX. He's the other Canadian man that's into Hex. Like, I want to hang out with him sometime. I'm not going to bug him for a stream because he'll just probably think I'm trying to steal his users. And I don't care. I'd say hit the like and subscribe more often. But, yeah, I'm okay without the followers because it's actually getting weird because I'm like, I'm going to have to stop talking about things. Like, there's only so long I can keep going on about IM because it's also trading on the bull trend still, which they did them more politely than the other assets that shot up with a high demand for a correction. These have been just steadily, calmly marching upward like a good asset should. So the more I talk about this, the less I want to talk about this, because the more scared I get that Well, people are going to buy it up before I can buy it all because I'm trying to accumulate. But, I occasionally look at these holders because it had like 600 something when I got in. Then I watched it go up to 700 something. And then I started talking about it, watched it go up to 800 something. And then I watched it break 900. Really, this is amazing that there are now only 84 spots left to be part of the first 1,000 holders. How many cryptos are so new that you can get in and being the first 1,000 people to hold a token? That blows my mind. And yeah, every time I talk about it, I get just a little bit more nervous because I'm like, you know what? I haven't bought enough. It's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah, I really bullish on the progress on this project because nothing has been over promoted or over shilled. I'm probably the person that talks about it the most, and I don't get paid to. KG won't come near my channel again since I butthurt him on the first interview picking on him. So, yeah, obviously, I am not on the payroll. But I definitely get bullish on this because I've watched the project adapt and change. And most maxis, oh no, not change. We fear change. We cannot have change. So they don't get it. They're like, oh, you're changing it. So it wasn't good in the first place. So it sucks now. Like, no. It was good in the first place, but it's better now because of innovation and improvements. This is what made crypto in the first place. Innovations and improvement on internet technologies. Yeah. Without that, you don't get Bitcoin. Without more innovation, you don't get the next future technology. And you're stuck riding your unicycle, listening to your 8-track while you're trying to fix the tracking on your Betamax. So, innovation wise, I made fun of it a little bit as just a meme token. It's just another coin. It doesn't do anything special, but wait, it does. It was deflationary, unlike most other tokens. Okay. But why is that so important? Because there was a voting mechanism built in. Oh, what? Yeah, like a DAO. Basically, you own enough that you vote to burn. And kind of, at that point, you can see how your community's flowing if they're getting the idea of delayed gratification and what improvements it could do to the burning. And I love the game theory of that. That was cool, but it wasn't a huge amount of substance to me as an asset. However, these guys struck me with something I couldn't get my head around at first. What do you mean a priceless token? What do you mean it has no price? What's the point of that? It pays dividends. Like, dividends are nice, but usually I think of AT&T just doing that once every 3 months, and people buy it to collect a dividend and then sell it. No. This pays you dividends every day that you own it, and a constant amount of dividends, guaranteed. Part of the swap fees that the wallet does. The token is linked to the wallet on each chain. The token will exist on Pulse Chain, Binance, and Ethereum for the WD token, this dividend token that has no price. Now, of course, everybody out there in the world is obsessed with price, so somebody will throw it in with liquidity and want to see what it does. They're going to see the price go up because of the time horizon. Well, this can pay so much dividends a day, a month, a year. What's your time horizon? That becomes the price of it. That's kind of interesting. That's a valuation. I can't wait to see that kind of mechanics playing down in crypto. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but what's the point of IAM? Well, IAM, very abundant. So they want it to be like money. They're making it the most liquid asset next to Pulse on the Pulse chain. It's going to be everywhere, paired with everything, so you can easily trade it. All right, that's taking it a step up because, it's like they heard someone rant about crypto not really having value until you can use it to buy pretty much everything. And then suddenly it was liquid and able to buy everything on Pulse Chain Testnet. I don't know who they're listening to. And then I talked about the price being good, but I mean, when you have fees being collected as some revenue, it really is revolutionary for Richard Hart to come and build Pulse X to use some of the fees that would have been just collected to go buy Lambos and put it back into the liquidity pools to reward the people that got involved. That's like the best thing since sliced bread. And they, strangely, must have been hearing somebody rant about that because all of a sudden, They added a buy and burn mechanic to this concept. So the wallet's that now is in alpha testing, doing successful transactions, about to go into beta testing for small private group, and then it's on track for the public beta testing. It's on track. It's progressing and it's working. That's exciting. And when it drops, there's going to be a guaranteed buyer in the system, always buying up the price of IM, and it won't care if the price is going down or if the price is going up. It will just buy based on the amount of transactions done in that wallet. Really? So for right now, this asset is just beautifully growing. Let's see if there's a log here. The log doesn't work on this, but you can see the low down here, and then a higher low, and then a higher low, and then a higher low, and then a higher low. So this asset is trading beautifully, the way Hex kind of did to begin with low adoption before this buyer comes in and starts jacking the price. So a guaranteed buyer pumping it up for life. Now, whether it's a big buyer or a small buyer, it's guaranteed as long as the wallet works. So, wow. That means there's going to be a lot of buy pressure put into this, theoretically, if the wallet gets a lot of adoption. And even if it doesn't, still a constant buyer that you know will always take your shares off you if you want to exit. That's pretty cool to me. That is some price reinforcement that doesn't count on the system of the next investor for value. It uses the revenue for value. It inherently can't be called a Ponzi. Broke the markets and broke crypto. Welcome, KG. You made a brand new asset class that combines the two. And I got in early. So, yeah, don't buy any. You know what? Yeah, forget I mentioned anything. This is all mine. Let's get back to Monday. Yeah, isn't it funny how I ramble for so long and then always come back around to my point? So, Monday. Let's talk about the possibilities here. All right. The RSI has bottomed out all weekend long. We're going to see the halt of markets, but crypto will continue to trade. Likely, crypto will try and hold its own, hopeful that there'll still be some sort of save. But come Monday, this is not, to me, a firm place of support. After all that buying that quick, it just jammed down. On Monday, this continued hawkishness of the Fed and idea is going to continue the sell-off. Now, will it stop on this line and bounce? Will it find any kind of resistance? I don't know. But even if it does, it's only going to find it for a day or two. Sometime by Thursday, Friday at the absolute latest, it's still going to go and test this. So sometime between Monday and Friday, we're going to come crashing on this line. And guess what happens when we hit this line? We're going to get a little bounce. So I have a funny feeling it's going to fall down and hit this. Bounce a little, crash through. Then we're going to ride a little bounce and probably come flying down on Friday again because we're going to have earnings next week. And I'm going to look in to see which ones are important, if any are. And then we're going to be looking for the PPI and the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, better known as the CPI, because it looks at only core inflation. Even the CPI doesn't look at things you actually need to live. So, and the PPI, the Consumer Pricing Index or Power Index, like how much spending power, pricing power the consumer has. Normally I get my information from Maverick. Luckily, he gave me a little tidbit video this week, mocking the Bed Bath & Beyond scenario. So he's still not around. I have to fend for myself. Luckily, apparently, it looks like I learned a few things. So I'll be looking up this weekend to see what the important dates are over the next week. And I will continue to actually bring some financial news. In the meantime, I will just leave you guys with the fact that I will be back tomorrow with Gamma on Crypto to talk about Pulse Chain, nodes, operators, validators. We're going to talk about the inner workings of the Paul Shane Network. What things that have been accomplished, what's potentially being accomplished, what we're comfortable speculating on, and hopefully have some fun and take some questions while we're at it. And then on Sunday, I'm not sure if you'll even see me here, I'll be over on another channel. And I'll be tweeting that out and telegramming that out. Now, I'll give you a shout out. Jim Rat Crypto has offered to have me on Sunday. So I'm going to pop on and talk with the man of arms about crypto. Looking forward to it. Anyways, this is my little market update because it's Friday. I'm tired from building that deck. This is all I got in me. And I got things to do. So, thank you for tuning in, folks. Hope you enjoyed this one. And remember, as always, stay frosty.